Hi, my loves, and welcome to this week's conversation piece. We'll be discussing the book by Devon Franklin, The Truth About Men. He recently did an interview on The Breakfast Club, and he was speaking about the book and just talking about how the man has the lust and how the men should have to conquer that. He called lust the dog, so mastering the dog is how he referred to it. And this week I just want to get a man's perspective on it and just kind of get some conversation going. Hope you guys enjoy. Okay guys, so here we are on my panel. I got my life buddy Thomas back. Second week, look at him, 2 weeks in a row.
Hey.
So he looked at the interview, not all the way through, but he got the gist of it. So what do you think about it?
I think in general, men, it really just depends on opportunity. I guess if you limit your opportunities to act on your lust, then naturally you're not going to. I mean, you have to if you're in a relationship, for example, and you go out to, say, a club with your friends, you probably want to have a lot of direct contact with your lady, like, have her check up on you just to make sure that you're okay, but just to reassure her that nothing's happening, and then probably have a good time, a curfew or something to come home, so she doesn't have to worry about you being out there. The club is full of single people, and that's not really your lane. So you don't want to be there too long or too much. You know what I'm saying? I think temptation is everywhere, and the more you're around it, the more you're liable to give into it.
So everybody has lust, and I agree with that. That's man and female, like everybody has lust. And so you think that it is something that you have to work on to be able to like tone it down and not act on it? Or do you think it's just something that you do?
I think in general, people are tempted to do things every day, so I just think it comes naturally. I think it takes a very dedicated person to stay away from that and to avoid temptation. I mean, we have temptations every day, not just, sexually or anything. We have, people who drink and do other type of things. We're tempted to do things that are not necessarily the best for us every day. So every day is a struggle. And I believe that you just have to be more aware of your circumstances or and the things that you're involved in. If you hang around a lot of single people, you're going to be around a lot of single activity.
Yeah.
And single activity is not in your best interest,
right.
So I just think that you just need to be very aware of the things that you do when, you have to have a life outside of your mate. I think it's very healthy for you to have friends and hang out with your friends, but you can't do necessarily the same things your friend does. So there should be places that you don't go. I hate to say it like that, but you decided you wanted that life. So that comes with the territory.
Do you think that men acting on their lust is like a big cause for why women are so hurt and feel?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. You give your woman a certain amount of, trust, or the trust is supposed to be into you, and she's giving you that trust. So when you go behind her back and you break it, it hurts. It's somebody that you're supposedly loving and giving your all to. Yeah, I mean, even though it's just lust and it's not the heart, I mean, it's still a part of you. Yeah. It's supposed to be a special part of you that you gave to her, that you guys share. So, I mean, that would hurt anybody, I would think,
Yeah, that's true. So as far as cheating, do you cheat?
No, absolutely not. I don't want to say I haven't been tempted, but I personally have never cheated.
Ever?
Yes. And I can say that, and I'll put my hand on the Bible and say the same thing.
Okay.
I don't typically get into situations unless I know for a fact that this is the person I want to be with. I mean, I can't have any doubts. Yeah. Any doubts. If I have any doubts, then I'm probably going to go into a situation and look,
elsewhere.
Right. Yeah. If your conviction is strong and the person that you're with just makes you feel, you just have that with them, then I don't see how you can.
So let's go back to that. What's your definition of cheating?
My definition of cheating? Anything that you give to another person that you don't give, or that you share with your wife. Like, it's not just cheating. I mean, it's not just sex.
Yeah.
You can also cheat with your heart. You can cheat with anything that you and that person do together. Say, you guys you go to the movies every Tuesday or something like that, and then you go to the movies on Tuesday with somebody else. I mean, that's cheating. Because it's something you guys have a bond and that you share, and you're sharing that with somebody else. I believe it comes in all shapes, sizes, forms, but cheating is like the main, or sex is the main ingredient for cheating. Most people are giving into that.
Yeah.
And that's mainly the problem.
I definitely agree with that, because emotional cheating is like almost like the worst one for me. Like, because you get attached. So you know what I'm saying? Like, guys who cheat and then have like a whole nother family over here. Like, you weren't just cheating, like you made a whole nother life over here, and that's even more than just cheating. Like, sex, okay, you had sex one time. All right, let's move on from that. Let's build our trust back up. Let's work on that.
Absolutely.
But if you go on and she was loving you and you were loving her, that hurts harder, because now you let her into my space. And that's that thing, like, you want to protect your space, and I'm supposed to be special, and I'm supposed to have a space that is for me, and you let somebody else have it. Now there's multiple spaces.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
absolutely. Lust is it's all about what you have in here. I believe you have to be in touch with it is that you want from somebody. Yeah. I feel like if you get that from somebody, I mean, how could you want to do anything else?
So, okay, another point he made in the interview was basically saying people who aren't ready or who aren't in tune with who they are the ones who are usually cheating and not really thinking about the repercussions of it.
Right.
So do you believe that, that's basically what it is a lot of guys aren't either mature enough or are hurt from something from the past that just stops them from being able to think beyond themselves?
I believe that definitely that they're not ready. They went into a situation, probably felt good about it, but they knew they had underlying issues that still needed to be addressed, and they never got to that.
Yeah.
They just saw what they wanted, but didn't correct these little things over there. Because we all have, baggage. We done all had things that happened in our past that you can't give yourself to another person until you completely know who it is that you are and what you want.
Exactly.
And I think with men, we struggle with that.
That's great.
It's already hard enough for us to express ourselves emotionally to other people anyway. So it makes it really difficult for us to get in touch with ourselves too.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't like to admit we have, these type of issues, emotional issues. So I think a lot of times it comes out in the cheating. It's like, I don't want to give this person everything that I have, because I'm afraid. So.
Yeah.
It's more of not sharing or anything like that, but it's to get away from the everyday thing that you go through. I just feel that way.
That's something I actually am going through. Just trying to find a space of knowing what I want and what I'm expecting from somebody, and also understanding what I'm giving to somebody. So that's definitely a space I'm in, and I'm trying to date, but it's not really, I'm not finding the ones that are fit for me, I guess is a good thing to say. But I know that that's what this space is that I'm in, is just trying to figure out what I want, and who I am as far as a relationship. I used to think that I didn't really bring anything, and then, one day I just sat down and kind of wrote down like everything that I do hold within myself and that I do bring to the table. And I'm like, oh shoot, I'm doing pretty good. So I was excited about that. But, that's definitely something that a lot of people go through between the ages of like 30 and 40, I think that's like your space right there where you're trying to figure it out. I don't know.
Right.
I know I'm 35. I'm trying to figure it out. So,
Right.
you know, I figured when I was younger, 35, I'm going to be married. I'm going to have kids.
Right.
I'm going
We
to
all
do
have
all
that
these
idea.
things. I'm going to be well off by 35.
Absolutely.
And that's not what it is, you know,
Right.
but that's, you know, neither here nor there. It doesn't make me less than what I thought I was going to be.
Right.
But it definitely puts me in a space where I feel like I need to figure it out. And I need to make this, you know, kind of work on it. And it's making me feel like it's more me, you know, like I got to work myself and get the steps going to understand, you know, the reasons of what I want, why I want it.
Yeah.
And the things I go after. Ooh, I used to go after some things, y'all. I used to only want the thugs. I used to only, you know what I'm saying, the guys in the club, like, you know, all those things that have no substance, that have nothing that actually takes you longevity wise, you know. So that's definitely like where the switch has to just flip. It has to be something different, and that's where I am right now. Like, I need longevity, and I'm saying, you know, I need to find somebody who's, you know, a millionaire or just has a whole lot of money or nothing. Like, you can be starting your journey and we can start it together, but you know, it just has to be the right fit. Okay, so another statement he made in the interview. He said that once you master the dog in your life, you can master anything else in your life, you know, referring to your whole life. Do you think that's an overstatement, or do you agree with that?
Definitely think that's an overstatement. I mean, don't get me wrong, mastering the lust is a big deal. I mean, that is one thing that all men feel. We feel it strongly. I mean, there's attractive women around all the time. We're always in those positions to where we look at this woman, it's like, oh, you know, but definitely I do not agree with that. There are certain things in life that are definitely harder than maintaining or trying to control your lust.
Yeah.
There are addictions out there that are just far worse to me.
Yeah.
So I mean, I understand where he's coming from with that statement, because it is very hard to control that lust. So it makes you feel once you do that, you can do anything. But I mean, there's levels.
Yeah.
And there's just a certain level that lust is not.
I also feel like it depends on the person. I feel like everybody, of course, deals with things different, and lust is high on one person and maybe it's not as high on another person. So I definitely feel like it is maybe too broad of a spectrum to say, you know, that everybody, once you do this, you'll be fine.
Right.
But, you know, just on the person and how you deal with it. But lust is definitely, you know, something that everybody deals with, but it's just, you know, some people can deal with it better than others.
I agree.
Oh, he was saying like you should never be afraid to let him go. Like, one of the biggest, hardest things for a man to learn, or the easiest way for him to learn, is through pain.
Oh, yeah.
So like, any advice, if you had a sister or a daughter that's dealing with a crazy nigga, like, would your advice to her be to let him go? Or is this something that we gotta love him through?
I mean, it's always gonna be. I mean, as a brother, father, you know, I'm definitely gonna always want to protect my daughter, my sisters. I mean, even my mom. So naturally, as a man, we want to say, let him go. If he's hurting you, anything that's in your life that's toxic, a man that's toxic in your life, yes, let him go. That's going to be our first reaction. Is it always the right reaction? That's questionable. It's debatable, because sometimes you just go through stuff. It's not to say that you can't overcome it. But, you know, as men, when we see our women in our lives hurt, we just want them to be better. So naturally, that's our first. But I don't necessarily feel that that's just always the answer. Sometimes you have to see things through.
Yeah.
You know, I think, you know, if it's worth working it out, then try it. If it doesn't work out and things continue to be bad, then yeah, definitely let it go. But it doesn't always have to be just let it go. You know, some guys haven't matured yet and came into, you know, them yet. And sometimes you catch them when they're a little ripe. You know, they might be a little green on the banana. Yeah. You know, and you're waiting for that green to shed so it could be perfectly yellow for you to peel back and eat, you know? Yeah. And some guys have to be, you know, you have to be patient and wait for that right time to peel them back.
Patience.
So when is patience required, and when is letting that nigga go required?
That really just depends on the individual. Yeah. I mean, how much can you take? You know, what are you willing to accept and what are you not willing to accept? Every woman has that threshold. They know once you get to a certain point with a woman, it's like, nah,
Yep.
can't do it no
When
more.
I'm done,
Can't
I'm
do it.
done.
Right.
I will give you a million chances. If I love you, I'm giving you a million chances. But once I get to that millionth chance, I'm done. I
Right.
can't do it no more. And
Right.
I don't care about nothing.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, they say the saying, "Oh, if you have a baby daddy, like y'all always gonna be
Right,
cool.
right.
Y'all always gonna be
That.
fucking, basically."
Right.
Nope. Once Christina done, she done. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you
Right.
got, what you do. Like I
do
can't do
believe
it.
that. I do
But
believe
I definitely give so many chances, and that's, I don't know if it's kind of like a catch-22. Like you want to, let them prove that they are who they say they are, but you can't, you're diminishing yourself. The longer you stay, the more you give is only breaking you down. And he chilling. He's still doing him. He's still going off being him. So that's like the hardest part is really deciding, do I let him go or do I stick around and try and see what it is? Some guys have money, so girls hold on to, well, he takes care of my bills, he buys this, he buys that. It's really up to the individual. It's up to the individual what matters to you as far as staying or going.
Right. I mean, I've seen women wait around for men for years, and then finally, bing, in his head, it clicked,
Wow.
I have to be this kind of way. And it turned over, and now they're doing great. So I don't know. It just depends on how much you can take. Is it worth the wait? It's up to the individual in my case.
Yeah, definitely up to the individual. I don't know. I haven't met nobody worth waiting, so I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
if he had to go, he had to go.
He had to go. They all had to go.
All right. Absolutely.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
But I really enjoyed that interview. You guys really should check it out. It's a great interview. And I enjoyed talking about it with my life buddy, Thomas. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. And we will see you guys next week. You might see him again on Conversation Pieces with Christina.